Hello, this is Deborah Cohen, a story and a song which broadcasts every Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Today we're going to talk about an interesting topic relating to music with Alzheimer's and dementia. And I dedicate this podcast to my wonderful grandmother who's gone on to glory or heaven, Eleanor May Temple. I saw a vibrant grandmother who taught me a lot of things: how to bake, how to cook, how to wash clothes in the early 60s. Vibrant, wonderful, loving grandmother. And in her golden years, which they're supposed to be our golden years, right? But she developed dementia and ended up in a nursing home, and it was so sad to see. And don't you know there's 5 million people in the United States alone who have dementia, and they end up in nursing homes. That's not the way that us baby boomers want to go. So if this is a topic that interests you, I'm going to share a little bit about a book that I'm reading. I heard there was a secret chord. Some of you may know that expression from the lyrics Hallelujah by the deceased Leonard Cohen, who's also one of my favorites. So if these interest you, find a cozy place, or if you're driving, just put on your earbuds or whatever, and I'll see you right back here in after this brief message. Hello, this is Deborah Cohen Music, and I'm so glad that you took the time to listen to my podcast, A Story and a Song. It's about my life, to share some wisdom and some mistakes, hopefully that we can learn from together and laugh at maybe. Starting in the 80s in a new wave rock band in Boston with 2 singles that are still available on Spotify: Boston Nights and Dreamin'. And then on my worldly journey that we're all on, I morphed into a spiritually dominant being where I am a truth seeker and write songs of praise while having one foot in the world writing sync music. So listen up and share. Okay, this is Story and a Song, and we're talking about how music affects your health and how it can restore memories in people with Alzheimer's and dementia. Thank you, Laura, for telling me that the audio was off. Okay, anyway. So, for example, during the 11th century BCE, near the end of his life, King Saul suffered from periodic depression and agitation. Thank you, Laura. You saved my whole podcast. On such occasions, we're told, King Saul would summon King David, the same David who battled Goliath and who was reputed to be among the greatest musicians in the kingdom. David would take the lyre and play it, and Saul would find relief and feel better, and the evil spirit would leave him. And that's from the book of 1 Samuel 16, verse 23. David could slay a giant with a rock and depression with a lyre, or a lyre, if you want to say that way. The origins of music for healing are as old as our species and are still practiced by a majority of people in the world today. Music's ability to heal, to provide a brighter day, to promote physical and mental health, knows no boundaries of language or culture. It is a recent feature of Western society that we have separated these two, healing and music. Imagine that. And I'm reading from the book, I Heard There Was a Secret Chord by Daniel J. Levitin. We tend to see healing as the province of doctors, of music maybe as entertainment. Perhaps it's time to reunite 2 of the most intimate parts of our lives, doctors and music. Scientific advances in the past 10 years have provided a rational basis for this reunification, opening a dialogue between healthcare workers, health insurance companies, and all the rest of us. The research allows us to take what had been speculation, anecdote, and observations untethered from evidence and join them in equal partnership with prescription drugs, surgeries, medical procedures, psychotherapy, and various forms of treatment that are mainstream and evidence-based. The advances were spurred by this 20,000-year-old history way back when they used to use music for healing. It has been said that music gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and charm and gaiety to life and to everything. Plato believed that music can bypass our rational mind. More than anything else, rhythm and harmony find their way into the inmost soul and take strongest hold of it. It is perhaps no surprise to learn, then, that the Greek god, small g, of medicine, Apollo, was also the god of music. Hippocrates, 5th century BCE, is known as the father of Western medicine, and he believed strongly that music could be used to treat a variety of physical and mental health conditions. Although no musical prescriptions have survived, we do know that specific scales were used to treat particular ailments, and Athenian physicians would prescribe particular tonalities to heal colds, aches, depression, or injuries. For example, the Dorian mode, if you're a musician, you know what I'm talking about. It's a different it's a scale, but it has a flat or a sharp in it, and whereas the major scale doesn't, unless it's in the key. That's another thing. Dorian mode was considered suitable for mourning. Phrygian mode was used to control digestive problems. Lydian mode was imparted good cheer, optimism, friendliness, and a tendency to laughter, love, and song when it was well executed, but could lead to weeping and sadness when not. 700 years later, Ptolemy, the living in the Roman Empire, wrote his treatise Harmonics, in which he elaborated on the relationship between music, emotions, and therapy. And that was an excerpt from the book, I Heard There Was a Secret Chord. So now I just like to summarize and share what I experienced in this amazing documentary, which I hope that you will all see it, especially if you have family or friends with Alzheimer or dementia. And this was a documentary in a nursing home. This man, Dan Cohen, just one person can make a difference in life. You have to find out what you have passion for. And the reason why I am sharing this is to honor my grandmother, Eleanor May Temple, who in her older years suffered with dementia. And I saw a woman that I knew as a little girl, full of life, love, and laughter, turn into a vegetable. Not literally, okay? All right, so the name of the documentary is Alive Inside, A Story of Music and Memory. And briefly, it opens up this documentary. They're talking about Dan Cohen, who goes to nursing homes with a bag full of podcasts. What do you call them? iPods, sorry. Once upon a time, we used to use iPods, and he'd go and talk to different nursing home patients and try to find out what kind of music they used to listen to. So it opens up with this 90-year-old woman, and Dan sits down with her, and he asks her name, how many children she has, and she doesn't remember. She can talk, but she can't remember anything from her past. I think she said she can't remember anything in her womanhood. Maybe she might have remembered a little bit of her childhood. So anyway, he finds out what kind of music she likes and then asks permission to put a pair of iPod headphones on her. And so the camera's on this older woman and we watch her face as the music transforms her. And you've got to see the documentary. It's just like unbelievable. She all of a sudden starts talking about and answers the questions that she couldn't answer before. It's amazing. I wish I had known this information when I used to visit my grandmother in the nursing home. I didn't know what to say to her because sometimes she'd know me and sometimes she wouldn't. If I had only known to ask, what kind of music did you used to listen to, or find out if she can't answer you, and then get earbuds and music, and make sure you don't take it with you once you see them light up like a Christmas tree. You want to leave the music with them so they can listen to it in between your visits. And all of a sudden they'll be able to talk to you because that music will awaken their brains amazingly. It all shows in this documentary, Alive Inside, A Story of Music and Memory, shows Henry. His head was in the nursing home. That's all he did was sit there like this all the time with his head down. He didn't talk. And it was like pulling teeth to trying to get him to say anything. So Dan Cohen finds out what kind of music Henry likes. Henry used to be a musician. And he'd been in this nursing home for 10 years like this. Can you believe that? Oh my God, what an existence. And he listens to this music that he used to like. It has to be music they like, not music you like, okay? So it's not going to work if you do music you like. You got to find out what the patient likes. And you put on the headphones, and Henry, he starts talking about Cab Calloway and conversing and doing ska. And he starts talking about his past and the band that he loved. And he said he's a holy man. He starts talking about all these things and he didn't say anything, nothing, until he heard the music he used to love. So all of this, how does this happen? Well, apparently, according to this documentary, and please, I suggest you look at it, the part of the brain that holds music is the last part affected by Alzheimer's and dementia. Music is in our emotions and our emotions as a child. So when you see these nursing home patients that are like vegetables, they listen to music they used to love, they start moving. It's just like amazing. So the problem with Alzheimer's and dementia is they are trapped in their own minds and sitting in a nursing home. It's a place they know it's not home. And so they start withdrawing and they go into vegetation. It's like solitary confinement. We all have music in us. And if we can bring that music to these patients, Alzheimer's and dementia, music that they loved, it awakens them. I think it's so this man, Dan Cohen, his goal is to make this standardized care for all 16,000 nursing homes in the United States. And as I mentioned, there's 5 million Alzheimer patients in the U.S. dementia. And this will double in the next 10 years. I think this is so wonderful. There's a stigma about people getting older in this country. It's called ageism, and I've been subjected to it since I've come into my 60s. It's funny how old people are treated, in a lot of cases, not welcome in social circles. So the American culture wants to put elders away. I know that's true. I don't want to end up in a nursing home, okay? So this is wrong that the culture thinks it's okay to put older people away. I understand sometimes you don't live near them or you can't take them in or whatever, but there's got to be ways to make the nursing home a home away from home instead of a hospital or a psych ward away from home. We are made to age. And we should be thinking about how we want to live our golden years if we end up in this fate. The video with Henry, the one that was a vegetable and just kept his head down, that was posted by somebody and it went viral. So if you can't do anything, find this documentary on YouTube, Alive Inside, A Story of Music and Memory, and post it everywhere. Make people aware of what they can do. Go to nursing homes and talk to these people and ask them what kind of music they used to listen to, or find out if you're a family, you can inquire. If you come from a broken home like I did, you can ask family members, what did Nana used to listen to, or what did Grandpa used to listen to, or whoever you're going to talk to in the nursing home. And in closing, I'd like to share the 2 websites that are sponsored on this documentary. So if you can't find the documentary, then you can go to one of these 2 websites. It will literally wake you up. Indeed, yes, music wakes us up. That's why I'm a musician and a singer. That's my life. I mean, I'm so glad my husband gives me the time to write songs and be in the recording studio. And I pray I never get dementia or Alzheimer's, but if I did, I hope somebody would bring in my music and let me hear it in my ears, or in my younger years. But like some people, I went into my husband and I live in a 55 plus community where they have swimming pool, and so this guy yesterday, we're in the swimming pool, and he's like 80 years old and he has a boom box. Okay, picture this, and the music is already playing at the poolside, which I don't prefer to listen to because the music they're playing from my past, there's certain times I don't want to remember what I was doing because I was a wild chick there for a while. I don't want to remember those days, But so he brings over his boom box and he puts it right next to the pool's edge and blasts music from Nat King Cole and Johnny Mathis. Well, he's having his own awakening in the pool, and he's loving this music, but that's not my music. That was my mother's music. So if you come into the nursing home, if I have Alzheimer's and dementia, and you play that music, I don't want to remember my childhood because it was an abusive childhood. So be sensitive to people. Find out what they like, not what you like, and don't blast your music in the public swimming pool because that's rude. That's totally inconsiderate. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry, I got on a rant there for a minute. Okay, so you want to go to the website musicandmemory.org. musicandmemory.org. And the other one is aliveinside.us. aliveinside.us. And I hope that this has given you the idea to find out if you have any family or friends that have this unfortunate Alzheimer's or dementia. Or if you can't find anybody it's okay to go visit people in nursing homes as friends or with your congregation. Find out if you have any congregation members that are in nursing homes. That's what I'm going to do. And find out the music that they love. That's key. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this, and I thank you, Laura Dillingham, for rescuing the day. Otherwise, I would have spent the whole 30 minutes with a muted audio, unbeknownst to me. Thank you for listening, and I'll share a little bit of my newest song, Zion. And until we meet again, I wish you all peace, Salem, and Shalom.
Have you heard of Zion? Where some people still believe in God's kingdom. His holy name is placed there in the Bible. in the heart of Jerusalem. And all nations will know your